It's Joy and today we're going to be watching The Umbrella Academy Season 3, Episode 3, Pocket Full of Lightning. I am very excited to see what's happening next, stressed about this grandfather paradox. As always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and let's go.
Back in time and kill his grandfather.
Brilliant logic. I mean, if it isn't the grandfather, I suppose normally it's more like you accidentally go back in time and kill them, which is what we did.
The grandfather paradox.
So if they So by them going back in time, they caused Reginald to choose different children, but if they were never his children, they would never have gone back in time to choose him to choose different children, right?
Of paradox protocol.
Oh, before someone sees you.
She could have snuck him out the window again, would have been safer, wouldn't it? I'm glad you're happy, sweetheart. The world is ending. So feel it while you can.
Anything else?
Oh lord, is that guy gonna go missing? Or go kaboosh? He saw it that time. How come they hadn't seen it before? Was it because they were in the weird oh lord. Are all those people gone? Fuck, it's picking up speed.
Someone killed our mothers, so we shouldn't exist, but clearly we do exist, and the universe can't handle it, which is a problem.
Oh, okay. So it's not so much them not being the Reginald's children as it is just their mothers being dead.
You know, you can't keep dragging us through hell because you have an itch only an apocalypse can scratch, and then expect us to deal with the fallout.
I get you're going through it right now, Alison, but there's evidence.
Telling you something terrible is coming.
And go home.
This is our home, Allison. Accept it.
Her daughter doesn't exist. How the fuck is she supposed to just accept it?
I'm telling you.
Find out who did this. This is the thing. This is the
Go back and stop that.
Yeah. Because it's obviously Dad, all right? He knew where
Yep.
we were born.
I think Dad is capable of killing innocent people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's Murder City, buddy.
Yeah, I guess.
Marcus. He's missing. They want him back, unharmed.
We don't have him.
Oh. Damn. I was kind of hoping we'd solve that one quickly and then move on to problem number 2. Disappearing people.
Which Marcus is clearly a part of.
Learning so much about each other.
This is going great. Like, can we talk for once, please? Also, I know 5 is not actually a child in, like, mental age, but the actor still is, and the concept of this scene is weird.
Means you and I gonna have to work together.
Shit.
Rage, I was up at dawn, all right?
Yeah, your dad was toxic. What are you doing, Diego? Diego, you know better than how this is not how to raise a child.
Shit to do.
Wait, what's more important than family?
Can we all work together, please?
Look, for you it's been a couple days. For me it has been over a decade.
It's your fault.
I've slept with many. Is the one with our child.
You created this situation.
Screw that up.
Wait, what am I supposed to do with him, huh?
You
I got
ma-
important shit going on too.
I doubt that.
You made sure he did not have a relationship with his child until the child was 12, and now he's spiraling. It would have been hard enough to get to know him his whole life.
Nice try, Stockholm. Your ass is staying here.
Luther. Like, something I do kind of wish going into season 3 of this show was that they worked more as a unit. And like at this point, it could even be they really try to work together and it's very dysfunctional and it doesn't work. Instead of this like continual battle of like, at least now they accept they care about each other, but they also just don't work together. Yeah, this group is far worse than ours ever were.
Marcus isn't coming back. God took him. God?
In the basement.
Yes. God is in the basement. And he called Marcus home.
Okay, I understand more of her weird worshipping right now, but maybe you guys should go check the basement.
Focus.
Go check the basement.
Can I get a room?
I had another thought about him when I was editing, because I was like, oh, he could be Sissy's son. That is her name, right? Missy. Sissy. But they had a different name, but then of course she died under a false name, so what if he still uses that? That's the only thing I can place.
Where the fuck is Marcus?
Marcus is,
We-
Marcus is safe.
Real quick if you don't do
exactly as we say.
Allison.
See, I told you they have him.
We want to make things right with you.
By
and-
kidnapping our brother.
No,
Yes.
that's...
Allison! They needed to discuss what their freaking plan was going to be before we walked in here.
The briefcase for our brother.
Go look in the basement then. But they don't want the deal.
Hotel Obsidian, 4 o'clock sharp.
Why did you tell them where we live?
Send him back in pieces.
This is why we need to fucking communicate.
Yeah, what are we gonna do when they show up and find out?
And they won't believe us now.
Why don't you relax?
You're usually the calm and cool one.
Yeah, and look how well that worked out for me.
She's struggling.
Tonight.
This is why we all should have talked, and Five shouldn't just be like, my siblings are useless, I'm not going to speak to
I
them.
don't give a shit about them. I've got you. No one's gonna win a fight against me and my tiny badass brother.
Because she's a terrible person. And I'm amazing. Remember that.
Jesus Christ, this poor child.
That's a I'm so good at
Diego. I do kind of wish we'd see him trying a bit harder to be a good dad. Like, obviously he's under a lot of stress. I don't totally think he would do a much better job than this. But given how bad their own father was, and that we even saw him say at some point, I always said I'd do better. But I'm not going to because it's a bit of effort. Like,
How about you?
he was a lot more sinister in our universe.
You know the drill. Pills, bills, and num-nums.
I'm not hungry.
Come on, I'm really not in the mood for your bullshit today.
It's like they're prisoner? Superpowered kids grew up, I suppose. If you mistreat superpowered kids and they don't leave you, they strike back.
What happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
They aren't that smart.
You finally gonna see the glob in the basement, globbing away.
Grace, what the hell's going on down here?
God is in the basement and it ate Marcus.
Sweet Jesus. Grace, when did God?
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago, with our new visitors.
It was an accident. You were just as dysfunctional as we are, you just hide it better. Oh, he's out of his retirement clothes. And now he's in work clothes.
And your entire family stood by while that greasy Swede put a cap in the woman who raised me.
The handler was going to kill you, Lila.
Huh?
In fact, she did kill you. Then I rolled back time. There is a certain honesty in white-hot hatred.
She's not wrong.
It's Victor.
Mm-hmm.
What? Bonnie's Victor now. What else did I miss while I was kidnapped?
Jesus, Luther, not everything is about you, all right? So
Jesus Christ, he was kidnapped!
Sparrows are coming here.
Sloane is not the enemy. They are not the enemy. This is all one big misunderstanding.
I mean, it kind of is.
Family could just behave ourselves for once.
And their family.
All work together.
We do just want each other to be happy at the end of the day. I hope we can get to a place with this Barrow Academy where we're not fighting each other.
Hey, come back.
This poor kid.
Your children. You try your best. Give them your
Abuse
all.
them.
It's too much.
I could just find the person who did it.
Do you want some ice cream?
Was it Lila out of revenge for for Five killing hers?
That's against the rules. I have to take them every day.
All you have to do
So make him a monster again.
to the side.
Yeah.
Just hiding Molotov cocktails around the place.
Just roll with it, man. Don't say anything and don't be weird.
Okay.
Well, Luther's always weird.
It's weird, right? I mean,
Luther wants to throw you a big stupid party so you feel loved.
Oh,
Do you feel loved?
Yeah.
yeah, I do.
Good. You are. Can we all get back to saving the world now?
I want more moments like that.
Thanks.
I'll see you later.
That was perfect Luther amounts of, because he's never going to be able to just say nothing. But it was accepting and loving, and that's what everyone deserves. Leave. The commission's been destroyed by the paradox? Or did she destroy it all and kill their parents? I don't know.
Oh shit, they're early.
They're here to fight. Guys, can we just talk about this for once?
Maybe we should try this again before I lose my temper. I got this.
Allison.
Deal's off.
Oh, run!
Molotov this, bitches!
Stanley! Not now!
Power up.
I heard a rumor we want to chat.
Now, Chris.
He protected his kid. Here he comes. Sissy's boy, right? Whoa. Luther. Are they dead? Fuck.
Sloan, are you okay?
God, they just ditched Sloan.
Oh my god.
It is him, because it's a different name.
Harlan? Is that you?
That ending was insane. Okay, so we learned a lot more about the grandfather paradox and about what caused it. I'd say both sides are aware of it to an extent, because Victor did mention to Ben that there was a paradox, but then they just think that we took Marcus somehow. Obviously, I don't think Allison's like, yeah, we have your brother. Like, maybe they wouldn't have listened, but if we had just stayed on the diplomatic front of like, we don't have Marcus, but we think we accidentally caused a paradox and that may have taken him, and then when they see the thing in the basement, they might put one and one together and realise it's two, and not think that, oh, they've intentionally done this thing in our basement that's killing people and killed our brother. Especially as they're kind of hardwired to view threats everywhere. But I can understand why Allison is struggling like this, but I also just kind of wish in this show it really falls victim to if the characters just talk to each other, none of this would happen a lot of the time. But we have made a lot of progress in that regard, just not enough. And like 5 in particular is guilty of that, because yes, they were being quite annoying and frustrating, but he could have just been to see them all and been like, we have both briefcases, they don't work, I'm fixing it. And instead, you know, they went off and instigated this meeting to try and get the briefcase back and cause this whole palaver. And then Klaus and Reginald, I mean, I despise Reginald. He clearly treated these kids with abuse, because you don't do that to a parent that treated you nicely. I mean, you do if you're psychopaths, but like, they aren't all psychopaths. This is kind of, I feel like the two ways. When you raise superpowered children in an abusive environment, they either abandon you one of these days, or they turn on you. And he has now lived in both timelines, through both. It is interesting on who killed their mothers. Is it going to be Harlan? Harlan did it, I don't know why. Is it going to be somebody that became aware of all the time travel shit back then? Maybe someone that was in the Council of Aliens with Reginald? Could it even be... I still think Lila is a possibility, or because she's just so unstable, and I feel like they could have taken her character in a really different direction this season, and they haven't so far. Yeah, that is a good mystery to solve. But Reginald being different, I don't feel bad for him. Anyone else in that situation I would feel bad for. Reginald, I'm like, well. But 2 of them are dead now. 3 of them technically, because we assume the paradox has eaten people for forever because of work. That was brutal. It's annoying that kind of the worst ones aren't gone, but also neither is Sloan, because Luther saved her. That was insane at the end. Diego is trying to be a good dad. I just kind of wish he would stop and talk a bit more, but then he has no examples of how to do that, and I think maybe with a lot of years and time to learn, he might have got there, but he's just been given a 12-year-old and been like, deal with it. Because Lila is a terrible person. He wasn't wrong about that. Lila and 5 being at the commission to see what's happening is really interesting. I was sort of assuming that the briefcases weren't working because of the paradox was like disrupting it, but is it just the commission is gone, so they don't have the power source anymore or something? It's all very interesting. I feel like we're getting somewhere now. Not that I dislike the first couple of episodes, but things are starting to tie together, and I always love when that happens. I loved Luther's acceptance of Victor and wanting to make sure he knew he was loved, and then Diego being like, do you feel loved? Good. because you are. Like, they're not the most affectionate family, but I wish they would have a few more scenes like that, because that's the kind of thing that keeps me tied to a show, is believing that the characters care about each other and watching their growth. Yeah, there's just so much going on from, like, it's kind of just, everything is up in the air right now and we need to wait for it. It's starting to come together, and I think when it comes together I'll have a few more coherent thoughts, but I am really enjoying this season. I think the first season is still my favourite season of The Umbrella Academy so far, but this one, you know, it has some promise. There were elements of the second season that I liked more than the first season, and I imagine there'll be some of that in season 3. I think as a whole, the cohesiveness of season 1 was the best, but we will see where this one ends up. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.